All right, let's just jump right in. Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're unpacking a really incredible presentation from Dr. Christophe Delong and Kinexa formation exploring Wassily Kandinsky and neural resonance. It's this wild intersection where art, biomechanics, and cutting-edge neuroscience completely collide. We're going to reframe exactly how you think about human movement, athletic performance, and even injury prevention. So, when you look at a masterpiece from 1911 by Wassily Kandinsky, it's super easy to just see a chaotic mix of shapes and colors. But, well, Kandinsky was actually doing something way more profound. He wasn't just tossing geometric forms onto a canvas. He believed he was literally painting frequencies. He was capturing the interior vibrations of the nervous system as it reacted to the world around it. Basically, he was rendering the invisible completely visible. Which naturally begs a pretty massive question. What on earth does an abstract painter from over a century ago have to teach modern sports science? I mean, how does a canvas from 1911 help an elite runner shave seconds off their time today, or help a physical therapist rehab a really complex injury? Well, it turns out Kandinsky's artistic intuition mapped perfectly onto how our nervous systems actually operate. And that brings us to our first major theme, the art of frequency. It all kicks off with this revolutionary principle that Kandinsky called inner necessity. He essentially said that a true work of art has to be born from a deep resonance between the artist and reality. Now, if you take that out of the art studio and drop it right into a biomechanics lab, that concept of inner necessity is actually an incredibly precise description of neuromotor fluidity. It's that flow state, right? That exact perfect moment when an athlete feels totally effortless and dialed into their environment. See, part of Kandinsky's genius was that he was a synesthete. His senses were literally cross-wired. He could hear colors and see music. To him, a bright yellow sounded like a sharp, piercing trumpet, and a deep blue resonated like a cello. And here's the crazy connection to sports. An athlete who moves flawlessly develops what's known as motor synesthesia. It's this incredible ability to intuitively feel the quality and resonance of a physical gesture, the pure harmony of their muscles working together, milliseconds before they even see the result of their action. They just feel the absolute rightness of the movement. And this is where the abstract art directly bridges into hard science. While Kandinsky dedicated his life to painting these invisible human frequencies, Kinexa formation is actually measuring the clinical reality of them, because our bodies literally operate on measurable electrical frequencies. Every single motor unit in your muscles discharges at its own specific rate, oscillating somewhere between 8 and 50 hertz depending on the fiber type. So your body isn't just a machine made of levers and pulleys. It is quite literally vibrating with electrical energy. Which perfectly sets up our next big idea, the body as an orchestra. Instead of looking at muscles in isolation, think of your nervous system as this massive, complex orchestra. When Kinexa breaks down the data, this metaphor holds up beautifully. When all those internal frequencies harmonize perfectly, we achieve synchrony. In the sports world, that means resonance, flawless timing, and total fluidity. But when fatigue sets in, or maybe you're dealing with an old unresolved injury, those frequencies clash. That causes dyssynchrony. The body starts creating what scientists call noise, tremors, irregular micro-movements, and huge energy leaks that make every single movement incredibly costly. So to visualize this, imagine a well-functioning body as a highly sensitive, vibrant keyboard of frequencies. When all these energetic pathways light up in the right sequence, without any interference whatsoever, the human instrument vibrates at its absolute optimal frequency. It hits exactly what Kandinsky called that inner necessity. The movement isn't just efficient, it inherently feels correct to the person experiencing it. But obviously, sometimes the music goes sour. Which brings us to dissonance as a signal. This is where we meet the real villain of the story, the silent, hidden dissonance lurking deep inside an athlete's kinetic chain. You know, most traumatic sports injuries don't just happen randomly out of nowhere. They're usually the final result of a really long, silent discordance. We're talking microscopic compensations, slight deviations in trajectory, maybe a fraction of a millisecond of mistiming in the ankle or the knee. Over time, these get so baked in that the athlete doesn't even feel them anymore. They just feel natural. But Kandinsky wouldn't just ignore this dissonance. He'd see it as incredibly valuable information. It's a loud, clear signal that something in the chain is vibrating at the wrong frequency. And that introduces the solution, Kinexa, the instrument of resonance. This is exactly where Dr. Christophe Delong and Kinexa formation step in to totally change the game. If the nervous system is the orchestra, Kinexa is the master conductor. They translate this theory into hard data in 3 really incredible steps. First, they use the neural synchrony index, which directly measures how well muscle recruitment is synchronized along the entire kinetic chain. High index means resonance, low index means dissonance. Next, they track real-time micro-oscillations in the joints using vibratory pattern analysis. This pinpoints exactly where the system is failing to harmonize. And finally, they create a resonance restoration protocol. This isn't just generic advice, it's a custom-tailored tuning protocol designed to completely resynchronize the failing segments and eliminate all that noise.
So, bringing all this brilliant theoretical data down to a deeply personal level. If your body is an orchestra, what is the quality of your resonance today? Are you moving through your day or your sport with fluid inner necessity? Or are there hidden dissonances and tiny energetic leaks quietly holding you back from your true potential?
It all comes back to a really beautiful, unifying concept. As the presentation concludes, everything that vibrates well resonates. Dr. Delong and Kinexa have shown us that by bridging the visionary art of Wassily Kandinsky with modern biometric data, we can tune the human instrument to its absolute peak. If you want to learn more about how they're mapping these internal frequencies, you can check out formation.kinexa.ai. But until then, seriously ask yourself, are you truly resonating with your environment, or are you just ignoring the noise? Thanks so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep tuning your instrument, and I'll catch you on the next one.